about adopting. I can tell you a number of farmers that we work with that have found this strategy to be very attractive to them. So here's another business model we see being used in agriculture. Again, it's an adaptation of what we see occurring in the industrial, well, in the retailing sector particularly. This is the franchise model. Now, when you think about franchises, you probably think about things like McDonald's. The fast food industry is very, very dominated by franchising types of arrangements. And the franchising type of arrangement, basically what happens is that there are a set of assets that are owned by the company, and in many cases it's in the retailing business, it's in the form of intellectual property and other types of intangibles. Where we see this being applied in agriculture is we develop a franchise in a particular geography where the franchising company, the equivalent of McDonald's corporate in a retail franchising, has a set of standard operating procedures. It will provide access to maybe particular inputs at a discounted price, so it can provide input discounts because it enables the obtaining of economies of size through the purchase activity. There may be the franchisee may actually have a relationship with a processor, and so it has the right, if you will, to sell pigs or potatoes to a processor, and it needs additional production to fulfill that contractual arrangement, and so it franchises growers, other growers, to produce for them. I mean, it's a contractual arrangement in many cases, and those growers have to produce under certain types of protocols. They have to use certain types of standard operating procedures. They might have to use certain genetics or certain chemical practices, etc. And in some cases, the franchise, the owner of the franchise, ends up paying a fee for this set of services it provides. And so it's a way for them to, for the grower in this case, to have access to the market that they wouldn't have otherwise. And this access has value to them. And the way that the business operates, and the efficiency and the SOPs and the input discounts and all of the other dimensions are valuable to them, and so they pay a fee to get this. This is how, again, the fast food retailing industry has evolved over time. It's the way how some industries are evolving as well. And there's starting to be some adoption of this business model in agriculture. A variation of it is, as we've already indicated, is kind of the subcontracting strategy that's used by larger growers who contract with the processor to deliver a certain amount of product over a particular time, pretty common in potatoes, increasingly common in vegetables, and even in some of our more commodity-oriented products like organic products or even in seed corn and various types of products like popcorn. And the grower then subcontracts the production activity of part of this with other contractors or with other growers. So he, in essence, signs a contract with the processor, produces part of the production himself or herself, and then contracts with other producers to produce additional amounts to fulfill that contract. But the rules under which that contract with other growers are set up are very rigid. They have to produce under certain protocols with certain procedures, etc. there are even some cases, we're familiar with one franchising arrangement in the U.S. where the franchisee also says, franchisor, I'm sorry, also says to the franchisee who's getting the franchise rights, we will not negotiate a similar contract with other growers in your geographic region. So we will not do this with your neighbor. The idea being that we're going to facilitate your renting or property from people in your locale. We're going to develop systems so that you've got a better ability to negotiate with the dealers, and we're not going to set up a competitor in your geographic space that can do the same thing. This isn't as common in agriculture as it is in, again, food retailing, where there's typically geographic limits on franchisees in terms of what the franchisors in terms of how many facilities they can locate in a geography. One of the disadvantages of a franchise arrangement is